So we've made our way to the first location, the Patuxai Victory Monument. You will never guess what has just happened. Wat Sisaket, which is actually one of the oldest temples here in Vientiane. Now at the final destination, the Phrakeo temple. I definitely won't be flying a drone over there, otherwise I think I might get it confiscated. Kind of like Buckingham Palace, you know, where it's got that massive walkway. The road has been churned up, so we've got to find a way of getting around it. Completely different to what I thought an omelette would look like though, but that looks amazing. Good morning and welcome back to the vlogs, where today we will be exploring Vientiane for the first time, which is the capital of Laos, and I'll be letting you know what I think of the centre itself. So we're going to start off by going to Patuxai Victory Monument, which is basically like the l'Arc de Triomphe in Paris. So it's a big gate just as you're entering Vientiane city centre. Then we're going to go to the Talat Sao, which stands for morning market, where hopefully we can grab some lunch and maybe do a bit of shopping. And then we are going to go to the Wat Sisaket temple, which is meant to be one of the nicest here in Vientiane, followed by going to one of the oldest temples in Vientiane, which is the Phrakeo, which is a museum now. So we hopefully can look around there and learn a little bit about the history of the capital city here in Laos. But this morning we need to do some washing first before we go out and do anything, as this is the final top which I've got, which is the Laos football top, which I bought yesterday. So if you haven't seen that vlog, go back and check that one out. And if you do enjoy this one today, do make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you are new, as it goes a long way to supporting this channel. So let's get going and find out where we can get our clothes washed. So for breakfast this morning, we've got one of these Tatawa almond biscuits. So we'll give one of these a try. They look very nice. I've seen Beth have a few already. So I bet these always smell good. As soon as you open them, you can smell the almond from the biscuit, but this is what they look like. And I'll show you what they look like inside, because I'm guessing it's going to be kind of like melted chocolate. They're very good. Melted chocolate in the middle. Good way to start the day. We have given our washing to a lovely lady over here, which is going to be doing it for 112,000. So it's about 4.5 kilograms, which is 25,000 per kg. And hopefully we're going to be getting our clothes back and washed, so we'll have to find out. She said she was also going to use cold water, which is good, so hopefully the clothes won't run, and they're being air dried, so they won't shrink either, which is good. But let's head off to our first location now of the sightseeing, the Patuxai Victory Monument, and hopefully this should be a pretty impressive thing to see. So what a start that was. We were literally just walking down the road, and I think it's the Lao president, because they don't actually have a king here in Laos, unlike in Thailand. And there was just a massive convoy of cars going past us. I thought at one point Beth's going to be arrested again, but there was a huge number of vans, cars, people with guns sat at the back too. So the president must be moving somewhere, and they've got a lot of protection and escorts going with them. So whilst we were walking towards our first stop, we were passing that damn stupa, which is this in the centre, which actually stands for the Black Stupa, and is a famous landmark in Vientiane apparently. And they've got no idea when it was actually created, but they think it was around the 16th century. There's actually a really cool cafe too, which is just behind Beth here, where it's got outdoor seating, and it's like in an old build, very old looking building, but it's a cool looking building. But yeah, it looks nice. It's like it's in the centre of roundabout. Instead of having our boring roundabouts in the UK or roundabout with a garden, they've got a black stupa, so that's pretty cool. What is also interesting to know is that it was actually covered in gold previously, but then during the war in 1828, the Siamese army took off all of the gold and now left it bare. So we've made our way to the first location, the Patuxai Victory Monument. So it actually stands for Gate of Victory, and it was built between 1957 and 1968 for the Lao soldiers who won victory in independence from France itself. So what's quite interesting is that the fact is built like the L'Arc de Triomphe in France, even though they were actually fighting against them for independence. All the cement for this too was actually donated by the US, and it was intended to be an airport runway, but instead they decided to build this. So we're now hoping to go up to the top to see the viewpoint. It cost around 30,000 per person, which is about £1 English money, so not expensive at all. It is 7 floors and it is also 50 metres high, so we may have some jelly legs as we get up closer towards the top. It's actually mad seeing just how much it floods here. So that was a picture of it when it flooded in 1966. By the looks of it, they were trying to one-up the French with their design compared to the L'Arc de Triomphe. So they said that they purposely added like 4 passages and extra things just to make it one bit better. And so we've made it to the first layer, so it's pretty cool. You can literally see the roads going out that way. Don't know if that's going to render in, but there you see the roads driving that way. On this side, it looks like it's got more of a temple-looking thing. Well, that could be the presidential palace, actually. I think that could be the presidential palace, which is over there. And then on this side, you've probably got the most of the main area of the city in front of us, so that's where we're going to be heading over tonight to the night market. And then on this side, I'm not really sure what's down on that side. It looks like mainly residential houses, or maybe that's the presidential palace, I'm not too sure. So now let's head up to the top of the steeple. I'm not going to lie, the inside of it's not the best decorated, but you do get good views of the city when you step out of it. It's a shame you can't actually go up to the top through the spiral staircase, which takes you to the very, very top. But I suppose they've closed that off, maybe for safety reasons, I don't know. That is the presidential palace over there for the Laos president. It's quite funny that we've actually managed to see him drive off, so we know that he's not there right now. I don't actually know what it is on that side. Someone will have to let me know down in the comments if you know what that building is right ahead of me. There is also a fountain, which you may be able to see in the park area over there, and that is there is fountain shows every day. I'm not too sure on the times of them, but you can go and watch them too. And we're not going to watch it because I don't think it's going to be that amazing, so we're going to probably miss that one out. We're going to head back down now to the bottom though, maybe check out the park area for a few seconds and then head somewhere else. But there is actually an army guard over there with a gun. Pretty scary stuff. You will never guess what has just happened. So basically, while I was flying my drone, these couple of people in sort of army uniform came over to me and said, "Oh, you shouldn't be flying your drone, come in here. I need to advise you," or something. So me and Beth were just like, okay, fine, we'll follow them in. So we followed them in. They started chatting to us. They were saying, "Oh, you're not allowed to take video drone shots of the gate, and because it's right next to the president building, you're also getting drone shots of the president building whilst you're flying it." So he was like, "Oh, you're not allowed to do this, not allowed to do this." But he was being really nice about it too. And he was like, "Oh, come in here, I'll advise you." So we followed him in. And then he started giving us some advice. So he was like, "Oh yeah, you shouldn't fly the drone, it's illegal here. You're not allowed to fly." But unfortunately, they've just torn down the park and rebuilt it and not put the signs to say that there's fines. So we were like, "Oh, okay, that's fine, that's fine." And he was like, "I might have to take you into my office and we have a look through your drone." So he took the drone anyway. He deleted the footage whilst we were just sat there. So he deleted all the footage. And then it got towards the end and he was like, "Oh, so all I'm going to do is advise you. I'm not going to take you into the office with your drone because they'll give you a very big fine if you do that." And then Beth and I sort of started clicking on to what was going on. So we just sat there for a few minutes talking to him, and they were basically trying to ask us for $50 for not taking us into the main office. So we were like, "Oh no, we'll come to the main office, we'll come to the main office," because we then knew that these officers were trying to scam us. It was like all a scare tactic. They started speaking to each other, two of them, in their language, in Lao. And we're saying, "Oh yeah, what should we ask for, what should we ask for?" And I could hear them saying 200 and stuff like this, and I was like, right, we know what's going on. So Beth and I was just like, oh, well, you didn't have any signs. It's not actually illegal to fly it in Laos. On my app, my DJI app, you're actually allowed to fly it where I was flying it. So we all knew that that was all fine. So we just said, oh, thank you for helping us, and left. So be very wary, especially at that gate. What's it called? I can't remember what it's called, the Patuxai or whatever, the Patuxai Victory Memorial. If you're there, watch out for them scamming you, because they'll take you into this like sort of little room. It's still pretty much in public, and they'll basically try and take some money off you. It's all a scare tactic, and it was crazy because he was taking loads of photos. He was asking to take photos of the passports and stuff like that too. So he's just got loads of these random photos of me, which is probably going to be deleted later on. And even in his book, he was writing down notes in this book, and I could see in the book there was pages which were ripped out. So he'd obviously been doing this to other people and ripping it out so they doesn't go to the main person. So there we go. That is my story of almost being scammed in Laos at Vientiane. So we're now going to head to our next stop anyway, which is the morning market for some lunch, and we can have a little bit more of a breather now, because at one point I thought I was losing my drone. Something Beth just reminded me of too, is what he was saying, was that he was going to take our drone and give it to us back on Monday, but we've got actually a flight to Hanoi on the Sunday, so we said, oh, we're not available until before Sunday. And he was like, oh, my boss is unfortunately not here at the moment, and it's everyone's day off tomorrow. So we were like, oh, it's funny that all this is happening just as we're here. So you could just tell after a while that it was going to be a scam. To begin with, it does sound all official, and that's why it was quite not scary, to be honest. He was very nice about it, but all of a sudden it just started turning into, oh, you need to give us money. And then we thought, right, well, this is obviously a scam. So we just said thank you and left. I also made sure to give them both a handshake as we left, just to sort of say, oh, you tried to get me, but unfortunately not this time. So we've now made our way to the Talat Sao, aka the morning market, where we're going to take a look around. There seems to be a lot of clothes and stuff in the centre, a couple of floors too, and I think it looks like there's food places further up, so hopefully we can grab some food. So it looks like we were in the shopping centre, and now this is the morning market. The food here doesn't look like the most hygienic food to get. It's a lot of street food sort of stuff, so I don't think we want to risk having any street food, and instead we'll probably find a cafe or somewhere else to go around here. So we've just been to see the morning market. I wouldn't recommend going there unless you're looking for jewellery. I actually had loads of jewellery stores, so you could probably go there if you want any fake jewellery. Or some clothes too. There's some fake designer clothing there, but I've definitely seen better shops with fake designer clothing. So unless you're going for jewellery, I don't really see too much in the point in going there. There is a few food stands too, but a lot of them were closed, and a lot of them weren't the most appealing food stands to go to, especially compared to the night bazaars which you've been in Chiang Mai and in Luang Prabang. We just popped into a shop called Big C. Now, I think that's basically 7-Eleven here in Laos, and we bought a Sprite which came to 8,500, which is less than 50p, so that's pretty good. And we're now heading our way towards the next stop. However, we want to find a cafe or somewhere to go for food first before we do go and see the temple or museum. Stopped off at just a random cafe which is as close to the next temple as possible. There's not actually that much going on around here, to be fair. There's no cafes, restaurants, so we've been lucky to find this one just on the side. It's pretty much empty too, but Beth will show you around now. So we're basically dining by Santa to begin with, but in the first corner there is the aquarium, so they've got some nice little fish in there just enjoying their swim around. Then got a guitar and like a set here with Santa and a Christmas tree for some unknown reason. Then you've got the main section where they've got like cakes and croissants. They look quite nice, to be fair. Then over here we've got golf clubs for some reason and a hamper, and then someone's laptop, and then it's just further decor as you go around. So it's a little bit random in this cafe, but it'll do for us for now. We're just having some lunch. So I'm going to go for the baguette, ham and cheese baguette. It's about 70,000, so that's about £2 something, maybe £3. Then Beth has gone for some fries and just a baguette with nothing else, because there wasn't anything for her. So a bit of a boring lunch for her, but she's not got the best of stomachs right now, so hopefully that will help with that. So those two came to 60,000 together. And then we've not ordered a drink, so we've just had our Sprite and we've got some water in the bag for later. So yeah, I'll let you know what the food's like once it's arrived. So we found out that it's actually called the C&A Bakery. The baguette has arrived with the chips, very small amount of chips, but thankfully Beth's ordered some, so I can steal a couple of those too, which is what we like to see. Beth's already destroyed her warm baguette too, so no showing that one off. Chips there. We'll give a chip a try first. They just look like any normal chip. Tastes like a normal chip too. Now let's try the baguette. Tastes like any other baguette, to be honest. It's nice and warm though, which is what I like. The baguette's actually warm itself. Did ask for it with no salad, and unfortunately it did come with some salad, but that's all good. Gonna finish this off now, and then we'll head over to the temples. And we have made it to the Wat Sisaket, which is actually one of the oldest temples here in Vientiane. And it was built in 1818, and then it managed to survive the Siamese invasion in 1827. So this is the Wat Sisaket, and we've just entered the museum now. It was 30,000 each, so just around £1 each to get in, and we're going to take a look around now, starting off with the Buddhas. So we've just had a look inside, and to be honest, it's no spectacle. It's not like the White Temples or any of the really modern ones today, but it is quite impressive that it did manage to survive one of the wars. Also, it was quite cool to see because a lot of it is made out of wood, and you can just tell that it's a lot older than a lot of the temples which we have been in. So we're now going to head over to our final destination, the Phrakeo Museum. So hopefully that one should be a little bit cooler than this one. So we are now at the final destination, the Phrakeo Temple, which actually looks pretty impressive, and hopefully we can get to go inside. It was actually the formal royal temple that was built in 1565, but then it's been destroyed since by the Siamese army twice, and they've had to rebuild it. So it is pretty modern compared to what it could have been, and obviously the one that we've just seen was a lot older. Now, I don't actually know much about the Siamese army, so if you do know anything, do let me know down in the comments, because it'd be good to understand about it a little bit more. But all I do know is that they were part of the Thai army, so someone will have to let me know something in the comments. Hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about them in the other museums, because we've got the Laos National Museum to go to too, so that might actually have some information on it. Again, unfortunately, we are not allowed to take photos in the temple, so I'll tell you a little bit about it once we've come out. So we've just been inside to look, and to be honest, it wasn't really that impressive. It was quite cool seeing all the old stuff. So it had all the old Buddhas, and it had the Emerald Buddha, which had actually transferred from Luang Prabang. I remember reading about that. So that was quite cool to see. But if you're not really that interested in sort of the history and the artifact side, then maybe you don't need to go in there, to be honest. You can actually, I think, walk around from the outside and not have to pay, but if you want to go in, then it's the 30,000 and you can see the museum. So it turns out that the building next to the gate is actually the ministry building, and this to the left of us is the royal palace, but you can't, not the royal palace, sorry, the president's palace, but you can't actually see it right now. I think there might be a gate up front, but I definitely won't be flying a drone over there, otherwise I think I might get it confiscated. So it looks like the presidential palace actually goes all the way to the gate, which we saw earlier in the distance. You might not be able to see it on the footage, but that's pretty cool that it goes all the way. It's kind of like Buckingham Palace, you know, where it's got that massive walkway from I don't even know where it's from the roundabout all the way to Buckingham Palace. So that's been pretty cool to see. So we're now going to head back to the hotel so that we can chill out for a little bit, rest the legs, and then this evening we're going to head out to the night market to go and get some food and drink. So we're now going into this mini Big C in the hope to find Beth some deodorant. Back in the room now, and we've managed to get ourselves a Sprite and a Fanta from the mini Big C, but unfortunately no deodorant. They came to 18,000, which is less than £1, so pretty good value there. Return back to the room now and I'll tell you my thoughts, my initial thoughts of Vientiane to begin with. So we started off by going to the gate. I thought that was good, it looked nice. And then we obviously had the police, and that definitely put a downer on Vientiane for the rest of the day. Morning market, not a massive fan. Probably would give that one a miss unless you are looking for jewellery, because it had a really good jewellery section. Then we headed over to the two temples, which were cool to see. They don't take that long though, less than an hour. So if you are planning on going to those, then you don't need to plan for too much time. But hopefully this evening, when we go over to the night markets, that will perk it up a little bit, and hopefully we get to see a sunset too by the Mekong River. We've had a short break and now we're heading out to the night market, where hopefully this will be the highlight of our day. We've made it to the night market, which is over there. However, the road has been churned up, so we've got to find a way of getting around it to get to the market. So we're walking through the market at the moment. It's got great vibes and lots of tasty food, which we can see. They cook everything from mealworms, there's mushrooms, cakes, there's pretty much everything you can ask for. So I found this omelette stand, and I think today we're going for the bacon omelette with cheese. Something a little bit lighter because we've had quite a lot of food over the last couple of days. Patuxai. That looks good. Completely different to what I thought an omelette would look like though, but that looks amazing. Thank you very much, Patuxai. We have sat down for our meal now. Beth has gone for something quite unique we've never seen before, some sweet potato balls. No idea what they're going to taste like. We'll have to give one a try in just a second. You then have the vegetable spring rolls. You could also get shrimp and pork, I think, with those two, but they were the most expensive, which I was surprised about. But this is the banger. This is mine. This is an omelette, apparently, a bacon omelette, but it's actually like a sort of a hot dog bun with bacon in it, omelette, which has got onion in it, then cheese on the top, lettuce and tomato down the side too, which I'm not sure about the lettuce, I might have to pull that one out. But apart from that, looks absolutely incredible. And I do quite like the night market too. There's lots of options of places to eat, and there's also seats, which is quite nice. Whereas the morning market we went to earlier didn't look quite as appealing. So I'm glad that this one's a lot better. Still not the best night market we've been to, but still, it looks pretty good. So we'll give it a try now. We'll start off with a ball. I want to see what these sweet potato balls taste like. These are Beth's. It's actually quite hot. It feels hollow. It doesn't feel like a big chunk of potato. There we go. So they are hollow. Sort of popped it in half. Just tastes quite nice. I feel like it tastes like, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird. I couldn't even explain what it tasted like, but they are quite nice, and they do have a little tinge of sweet potato. I'll eat the rest of that later, don't worry about it. Next one I'm going on to is the spring rolls. Let's give one of these a try. They're nice. Good spring rolls. A little bit cold, but they did look like they were left out on the side. What puts me off a lot of the food here is that it's cooked already, left on the side. Then you can see like flies flying on them. Whereas that's why I've gone for the omelette, because I like it fresh. So we'll give the omelette a try now, see if it was definitely worth it or not. But look how good that looks. That's very nice. Omelette tastes good, bread tastes good, nice and warm too, and the bacon, you get a little bit of bacon in there too. So overall, we've done quite well. Spring rolls are 60,000, potatoes are 20,000, and mine was 35,000. So overall, that makes 115,000, 110,000. So that's probably around £4. So that's not too bad for our meal tonight, and a lot cheaper than the last few nights. So that's good news. Just ordered some drinks too. I actually didn't ask what the price of my beer lao was, but Beth asked for the price of the Somersby, and that was 40,000. So it's probably going to be between 40 and 30. It'll obviously pop up on the top of the screen, but I've not actually tried this one yet. It's a, what is it, blackberry flavoured Somersby. So let's give that one a try. That's nice. It's weird though, because it tastes more like grape than blackberry to me. But yeah, that's quite a nice Somersby cider too, very refreshing. Finished our food, which was really tasty. Loved that omelette, and then it was nice to have a little drink too. And now we're heading our way to a Big C or some form of supermarket to try and get some cereals. We're struggling to find anywhere that sells cereal at the moment. So we're trying to find Big C, and then there's another market which we've just found if Big C doesn't have them. So we'll have to see. And we are back in the hotel. So we did manage to get some cereal in the end from the mini Big C. So basically it's like a mini Tesco, but for some reason, because the supermarket is called Big C, it's then called mini Big C. So we've got 3 bags of cereal, a lot smaller than the ones that we had in the previous place in Luang Prabang, and then a small little milk too. So they came to 23,000, which is about 85p. So less than £1 for breakfast isn't too bad. We did have a look at the deodorant, because Beth wanted deodorant too, but that comes to like £5. So I don't know what it is with aerosols here, but you can only get the small ones, and if you want the bigger one, it's ridiculously priced. So I'm going to have to look that up and why that is the case. And also, once we got back, we then collected our clothes. So we got our big bag of clothes back, which we need to go through and check that we've actually got all of our clothes in there. They smell nice, so hopefully they're nice and clean, but we'll have to see. And we've just gone through the washing, and she's done actually a really good job. I'm really impressed. However, there was just the one top which had a small sort of like oil mark on it. That's probably gonna be quite hard to see on there. There's a few black dots on this one, but we actually saw that because she hung them up by the road, that obviously a car's gone past and maybe spilt something on it. I'm hoping it's not oil and it's just mud, so we're gonna try and get that out. But all the clothes smell really good. So if you're in the Siri guest house, the lady opposite does a really good job, folds it all up nicely for you too, and it is nice and cheap. It was just a shame about this one top. But yeah, it is now time for bed, so I do hope you all enjoyed this vlog, and if you did, do make sure to smash that like button and subscribe if you are new. The night market was definitely the highlight of the day. I much enjoyed this evening than I did during the day, but hopefully we've got a few more better activities to do tomorrow. I also was having a look on Instagram to see if anyone else has been caught by this scam, we'll call it. And it turns out that someone else had, so she basically posted all about it. She said, don't fly here because you'll get people to fine. There'll be people that are waiting for you to fine you. And she got fined $30, but it actually started at $150 apparently, and she bartered it down to 30, which is actually mad that they're actually getting away with it. So I need to get a good night's sleep for all the activities ahead. So I'll see you all in tomorrow's vlog.